back, and it's time for the final best of 3. Solar versus Zest.
Yeah, you know, that first match today was really good, and then everything has been a little bit more one-sided so far. I'm hoping that Zest can learn from that first series, and to be honest, I think he can. I think he can discard that first build to use the charge into later DT, and I think that we can see a better series here out of Zest.
I'm hoping so. Again, we just thought that the build order picks, I think they are intelligent. I don't think they were the right strats to do against the opponent he was against. And, you know, the current date that we're at, I mean, we need to have the most modern stuff. And especially with that DT opener, I mean, that's one where the Zerg shuts it down. The Zerg takes the reins for the game.
Yeah.
And it was pretty easy. We will have one of our new maps, Streamcatcher, in Game 2. No matter what. Not even if we go there. There's no way around it in a best of 3. I'm going to blow your minds. You've got to get to Game 2.
What if Solar makes so many banelings that it doesn't have splash damage that Zest has already lost?
There's always that.
Splice, Solar. Zest.
Okay. What you said you didn't really care for the way he was opening. Is there a particular way you'd like to see him open against Solar? I know you like the Phoenix build, and he lost that late game.
The Phoenix build I thought was a little bit better. So here's what's weird about the build that Zest did. So it is a modern build, but it's too known now. And I think it blindsided a lot of players. Oh, from Manila. Thanks for coming down. We did some StarCraft at Manila a long time ago. Great plays.
Yeah.
I think it's too well known. You know when something gets a little bit too trendy, or you see it one too many times in a big televised match like this?
Okay.
And I think a lot of that build is hinged on really tripping them up for about 20 seconds. And then, you know, not able to deal, you know, if you're not ready for the DTs when they come in because you devoted too much attention to your third base, ready to defend there. The DTs can kill a hatchery or, you know, just so many drones. I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong, right? And from there, you've leveraged your position. But, you know, Solar seemed like he was aware that that was a possibility. Granted, there are other builds that Zest could have done. Solar had basically taken note, okay, you know, there's 4 or 5 things that could come when I see this initial warp in his Zealots. He had that one ready. He shut it down, and I think it just put Zest in a bad position. And that was the first game we saw from Zest here today. Now, obviously, this is why we put the round of 16 in a group like this, because we don't want these guys to have one strategy is what their entire career is hinged on, right? You need to have, especially in StarCraft 2, a big toolkit on all these different maps and all these different matchups, and you got to be able to deliver. And so I'm hoping to see something a little bit different this time around.
Okay. Well, we'll see where he goes. I mean, this is pretty standard so far, what he's showing us. See if he goes Phoenix first or Oracle first. That doesn't really tell us too much. But Zest has definitely in the past been a big fan of light Oracle harassment into things like Charge plus Archon. That's kind of was his linchpin for a bit. Okay, he opens with a Phoenix. Obviously, when he did this previously, he did go into 2 Stargate Phoenix a little bit later. And it could be that again. We'll see. There's a lot of things you can do from here. You can go into a charge lot all in. You can just go into Oracle and play very normally from there. So he's making that Oracle. If the Oracle doesn't show up at the Zerg base, that's when they're like, oh, what's going on? Interesting as well that Solar really focuses on getting the Overlord into the main base. It's a small thing, but some Zergs, when they're dying to a Phoenix, really prefer to check if the gases are being taken at the natural, and he doesn't check that here.
By the way, he should have gotten vision of that Stargate and seen the Oracles coming, and there's a second Stargate.
Okay, and hey, to be fair, it felt like he was at a slight advantage, or at least even against Solar with this build previously.
Right.
So I'm not upset to see this build again. That's
No,
for sure.
I think this is smart, and the fact that Solar tried to scout and get confirmation this wasn't happening, and then Zest does just a later version of it. You know, you don't just need momentum with this. You need surprise. And so to come out later on with the Phoenixes may really throw Solar off. And I mean, you know, to what you were saying, Artos, Zest did a really good job with those Phoenixes. It didn't seem like it was as natural here. And look at this. This is so great. He's banking the Phoenixes.
Yeah, this is like how he did it last time as well. He banked them for quite a bit. Came out with a strong number, started being able to pick off quite a bit as well. So far as harassment, not really doing too much, but the build is basically exactly the same to where we saw it last time. So, you know, the thing is, a lot of times a great player like Zest will make builds look the same.
Yeah.
Will Solar kind of pick up on this? We'll see.
There is a lack of, you know, there's not a ton of ground units coming in when you're doing a build like this. You're kind of looking for something, right? The lack of anything being there can very subtly telegraph, you know, what's coming here.
Absolutely. Solar's actually going for the same build as well, it seems. He's making roaches, going up to the layer, all in very similar times that we saw previously. He made, what, 11 roaches last time? Let's see if that's going to be the case again.
Again, I'm getting a little bit worried. Even though these Phoenixes haven't been spotted, there's just not much here, right? Nothing's really warping. And I mean, even if you don't know that it's Phoenixes, okay, he might now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw that or not.
Yeah, that was a very temporary blip on the map.
3 Overseers. Well, that's certainly not the counter to this build.
Okay, so it seems like Solar might have not reacted in the ideal direction.
Oh, he's going to send those around the map and goop something for sure. Right?
Oh, well, maybe. I mean, what else are you going to use him for?
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to get in there and try to goop the double robo follow-up.
Okay. That would make sense, I guess. It's kind of interesting to me, though, because... won't the Phoenixes just go back and... Or maybe you're going to go... Yeah, I mean, gooping the robos can be good, for sure. Maybe if you find a Templar Archives, you goop Storm.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess he gooped the robos once, though. I mean, what is there, some kind of magic timing from there? Now, this might be, you know... His build gave him lemons, so he's trying to make lemonade. And it's not ideal, but he doesn't have any utility for these. He spent money. He wants to get value out of it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's sort of what's happening here. God, that's a lot of Phoenixes.
It's a serious amount. But so far, Solar has actually defended very well. He hasn't sent... Like, let's remember the things that happened in the previous time, right? He sent 11 roaches across the map, which got picked off. Zest got more drones last time. Similar amount of Overlords. Maybe he's getting a little bit more Overlords this time, but like he also picked off a bunch of Hydras as they were popping out. That we haven't seen that happen yet.
Yeah, he's keeping Zerg honest. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Here come those Overseers, by the way. They're headed southbound.
Are they? Or maybe it's just one?
Wait. I think he's gonna one by one it. Something's going there. There it is. They drew straws. He's like, all right, I guess I die first to Phoenixes. What do you goop?
If it's one, you're not sending your Phoenixes home. Maybe one Phoenix you could send home to get it.
He's like,
He's like, there's
so many choices.
It's like, you're really not going splash damage?
What a awkward game here that Solar's having to play. Okay, he's just going to sit there.
The actual army is going to be really good for Zest.
Well, yeah, especially with these Immortals coming out. I'm really kind of thrown off by what's happening in the Solar game. Maybe he was hoping that goop or no goop, I mean, I guess he was hoping that he could try to pull this back. All right, I mean, I guess that's something.
Well, he did get the Phoenixes to come home, and now he can go goop. I guess this is an endless goop now, right?
Yeah.
The Phoenixes went home, and, like, you go down, you goop it again, and the Phoenixes come home again?
And I'm one of the Gooper Troopers, man.
Gooper Troopers.
Yeah.
More like the Goober Troopers so far, man. They haven't really done very much, have they?
Much. Everybody's played a game that's like this. You're like, this isn't going well, but I'm trying to make it work.
Yeah.
So
you're like, I had this idea, and it was so cool in my head.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it ends up being great. Delaying +1 isn't bad.
No, it's not bad. I don't know if it's actually going to be delayed. I think it's going to finish.
Oh, he's delayed charge a little bit.
Okay. Well,
charge is still going to finish, but... Phoenixes are still getting something done.
I mean, you do need a pretty incredible amount of Hydras to really respond to the threat of the Phoenixes.
I'm very interested in this gooping strategy. Like, I need to.
I don't actually think this is as much of a strategy as it is. He reacted incorrectly, and he's trying to.
But he made 3 Overseers at once when he already had Spores. That can't be anti-DT.
Well, the
That's
thing
too
is,
many.
It's weird because like now Charge is done, so +1 got done, albeit late, but there was no timing attack. Charge got done. I don't think it stopped Protoss from really doing anything, right? The last Overseer goes in.
But he made these before he knew it was Phoenixes. So maybe this is much better against something else. Like, you just slow down splash damage.
Okay.
And he's like, well, I'm not sure what to do with it now. Yeah, that has to be it. Right?
Well, I mean, maybe you're right. I mean, I guess the answer is we're not going to find out in this game, but this looks really weird, right?
It's weird because Solar is good at using things other people don't use. He really is. He's like probably the best Zerg at
He
that.
did it with Lingbane early on. There was a period where he was doing it with Niduses every week. He's had a lot of phases where he just sort of sees something that, I guess the rest of the world can't see. I mean, that's kind of one of his great contributions to StarCraft. But
I certainly don't see what this is. No. But I'm considering obviously you don't want to do this against Mass Phoenix. I think it has to do with that. So you're just like, this isn't the strat it was meant for.
Maybe he didn't actually go look for the double Robos, and that was the problem as well here. So the angling is a little bit tricky here for Protoss, but with the Archons able to squish the force fields after they basically held off the Hydras and Banes. Oh, man. Okay, here we go. Immortal's way in the front here. This is... I'm not sure if that was intentional. Big pickups here by the Phoenixes. It looks like the army on the right was cleaned up for Zest, so the rest of Solar's army is going to come down here. Again, Archons and the Immortals are what are going to be dealing the damage, along with the Phoenixes and Zealots are here to try to soak. But there are so many Hydras in the back. But, with this number of Phoenixes, it's kind of hilarious how many Hydras you can eliminate from the fight.
He's going to lose his whole army, though. Unless he gets another big warp in here. I guess he will.
I think he can actually do it.
Yeah.
I'm just not used to seeing this many Phoenixes in a fight. GG. Zest wins game.
That was
game 1.
Peculiar game.
That was actually one of the harder things we've had to cast in a little bit.
Well, it was so bizarre seeing the Overseers, right? And they didn't really do much, and then the Phoenixes did a lot, and I mean, Zest definitely executed well and hit that attack, and I don't know. It was a weird game, and I want to withhold judgment on that multiple Overseer thing. I feel like this is something that if your opponent doesn't go Mass Phoenix, right, you maybe endlessly goop Psystorm, right? And if you're endlessly gooping Psystorm, maybe that's how you...
Hydra Bane?
Yeah, well, I guess you opened Roach, so a Roach Hydra attack, that can do well. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. If Solar continues to play in this GSL, I'm pretty sure we'll see that Overseer strategy again, because that's not like a cheesy thing.
He's got to win this best of 3 now if we're going to see him keep playing. We're going to be on one of our new maps, Dreamcatcher. Let's see if Solar can survive Game 2 versus Zest.
Fight! Splice, Solar.
One thing I do wonder is Zest seems to have done, at least brought his best PvZ games with Phoenixes. Second time he did it was super sneaky. Will he do anything like that again?
Zest.
Because I think the answer is no.
His Phoenix play so far has been pretty solid, pretty good. Like, what's the proper counter to this, do you think?
Well, we see a lot of Roaches made early on, right? And I can kind of see like that Phoenixes are not the greatest against Roaches until you have so many of them that you can just keep picking them up. But I guess it keeps your drones kind of safe. But maybe, I don't know, faster tech in a Hydra or something like that. I mean, if you're going, I
think it's a very meta build because people are building Roach Horns all the time now.
But I mean, so do you punt that out of your build order? Is that the play?
Because you can't scout it. The Phoenix kills your Overlord before he makes a second Stargate.
So you'd almost have to have kind of like a blind.
You'd have to blindly not make that because.
But then I think we'd be seeing this more.
Well, Which, the
Phoenix? The Phoenix stuff more.
Well, Zest is one of the creators of Protoss build orders. Like, he creates more Protoss strategies than almost anyone, as far as replicable strategies. Not talking SOS crap that you see one time and it will never come back because it was
He's
bad.
like, oh, he just knew this exactly.
Yeah.
That's going to be on his tombstone. I knew that exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, it seems like it's a pretty decent metagame type play because of the Roach Horn being so popular. You know, when everyone was going just like some Lings into Hydralisk Den, that build, while I think it might still have a tiny bit of usage, obviously not nearly as much.
Maybe
right?
there's a way to get a lot of Lings early to deny the third. I mean, you're trying to keep them off of you so that you can get your third base up. And the Roaches don't really allow for a third base denial.
Very good point.
So maybe...
Because the old Ling style, you'd have to make more units or have like 1 or 2 Oracles sitting there. And he's bringing back his Oracle to try to help with that. But no one's going for a lot of Speedlings early because everyone's going Roach Horn, because if you don't, these Charge Law all-ins will kill you.
So maybe the answer is if you see the Oracle not attacking at all and you knew it was making, because I think you can scout that, maybe you say, uh-oh, this looks like Phoenix. Normally the Oracle has to poke out. It was maybe telegraphed in the handling of the Oracle in game, that was game 1, game 1, where it stayed back and you say, okay, wait a minute. You normally try to get a few drones.
If you get, the thing is, some people will make just a Phoenix. Some people will make Phoenix into Oracle and then go into like a charge all-in. That's the thing. Like, you can actually go anywhere with Phoenix Oracle. Anywhere.
I'm addressing the tree, assuming there aren't other branches after you get past that initial part.
And I think that's the big
really
problem, is that there are a ton of branches.
Yeah. Well, that's what Protoss is sort of hinged on, is trying to utilize these different forks and where you tack it, and trying to, basically outmaneuver them strategically. Hold on. Okay, so he saw the Oracle.
Do you see this? He's making a
Rabu.
Oh my god, I can't even use my brain right now. We just saw that he's getting an evolution chamber. So he is changing it up, but so is Zest here. Oh my god, I think Zest might do the... oh wait, no, he's got double gas. So this is probably an Archon drop.
Is he mining?
Okay, and this is... I'm getting chills.
Okay.
So I think he just saw the Robo. Not 100% sure, but anyways...
Well, he did. He sees it right there.
Yeah. Okay, so he did see a Robo, and that's definitely very valuable information. Of course, you don't know exactly what this is going to be, but I think it's just going to be a Archon drop. Now, Archon drop is properly countered by having some Roaches, right? But the Roach opener is bad against the Phoenix opener, so he's forced him into a Ling opener, and he's going for Archon drop against that, which is very good against that. So now we're going to see Solar playing at a strategic disadvantage because Zest has basically primed him with these Phoenix Oracle openers.
Dude, only in StarCraft, man.
Jeez.
That's why this game is so sick, is because so much of what's happening now is based off of the games they already played.
Yeah.
And right now,
this is crazy.
Zest is playing 6-dimensional underwater chess and 5-dimensional Connect 4.
Yeah, and here, to put this in perspective, right, if you're 12 years old right now and watching StarCraft 2 for the first time, think of it this way, right? He was shooting you with a rocket launcher, then he built a 4-story house and killed you out of the 4th story like 3 times in a row, but now he's in the 3rd story.
And then he's doing that one of those dances.
Yeah, and he's doing some sort of dance as well. And he's Thanos.
Also, you're watching StarCraft now instead of Fortnite. You're going to grow up and make a lot of money one day.
Yeah.
All right? You're
welcome.
These are all good signs, okay?
Well, who cares about all that analysis we just did? He's actually doing a Ling
But what
Bane
about
Ling Bus.
explosions and circlings?
It brings the Archons back. Like Zest, let's see how he ends up holding his probes. That's the most important thing.
Oh my god, the one pylon that's powered over there? That could be a problem later on.
He just needs to save a ton of probes here.
Oh, that was sick.
Okay, 8 probes dead. You know what? Can he save that Nexus? Is it possible? It's so funny because we did so much analysis and then made a joke and missed that there was a Baneling bus coming.
Yeah.
But ooh, that move right there is actually how Solar can win this game.
Stay on target.
Because
stay on target.
Oh my god. That's...
I thought I was going to get more.
Yeah. Well, I guess he wasn't actually fully saturated there anyways. Uh-oh. Oh my god. Look at this. Look at this. This is amazing. Okay. backing it up for a moment, right? The Ling Bane attack, it did all right, but Zest isn't dead from that, I don't think. Right? Like, this is a very
he did not
late
lose
layer.
enough workers. Now, maybe if this Nexus gets sniped down,
He should
but
just
I think
make a shield
everybody's been in
battery.
this moment where you're like, oh, I'm just going to go have to kill that Nexus. And then 3 minutes later, after you've spent everything and didn't expand and tried to kill it, I think Zest gets his third base up. Zest is not that dramatically down on workers, especially considering like where the matchup is and how they teched. Solar did invest a lot into Zerglings and Banelings.
Yeah.
So things are automatically curbed. Zest can kind of is sort of teching organically towards where he needs to go. This wasn't like he had to completely shift gears. He just had to reposition and defend.
And, you know, all these real tech, quote-unquote, real tech here from Solar, being this late, like, definitely there's some map control that we're watching right now from Zest. He's kind of flying around with these Archons. He's starting to get a bit of damage done. You know, Solar's pretty spread out. He's got to spread his roaches, and now he's obviously, you know, Zest has a complete feel for how Solar is playing from here, making a lot of roaches. Yeah, I don't know. This is a super cool game, though.
Not bad. Transfuses saved that Queen. We've got 22 more Lings here. I think Solar's really actually held his own here on this side of the map. We might see Zest try to expand again.
I think we're going to see Solar just do one massive attack coming up. And
so maybe he shouldn't expand then.
We saw this actually against Patience. No, not Patience, I'm sorry. Which Protoss was it against? Anyways.
Was it around a 32?
Around a 32 when Solar was playing, right? Like, he got really far behind. It was against Stats, I think. And then he just went like Ling, Speedbane, some Roaches, some Ravagers, and just was like trying to pummel him, and he actually almost broke him, even though Stats had like a perfect game up to then. I think we're going to see something like that. This style, like this kind of attack that, again, look at the amount of Lings he's making. Yeah, it's coming. It went out of style against Protoss because Protoss was getting Psystorm on time and having enough Archons, but I don't know. Solar almost made it work from a deficit before, so I imagine that's what we're about to see. Otherwise, like, why does he have this many Lings?
No, I think you're correct. Wow, making the Banes right under that. Well, I think that Zest knows what he has to do. I mean, he might still die to it if he doesn't control everything correctly. 24 more Lings. The attack is about to mount here. I don't know if Zest wants to bring those Archons back home or try to abuse his position. You know, Archons against Mass Ling, Baneling is a lot of times what you want to have in the actual fight. But at least he's keeping him honest over here, right? These Lings are having to stay back.
Well, there's a lot of units out right now for Solar, man. Look at that supply, and a lot of that's in Ling Bane. Bane is like the most powerful unit per supply, so like, it's funny, right? Because if there's too many Roaches, you're like, well, that's not really that much supply. But when it's this many Lings and Banes, it's pretty frightening. But with Psystorm, with this many shield batteries and Archons...
Yeah, the thing is that the Banelings and the Zerglings need to do so much damage that things disappear immediately. And if there's enough shield batteries and the heals come down correctly...
Yeah.
Oh! Back off! Those are my rocks.
20 kills.
I'm going to use them for my garden.
Yeah. Don't you touch those rocks. You think they're destructible. They're
Private property!
And now
he's going to get 2 carriers, huh?
God, I think that's great. You're playing against, like, Roaches? I mean, I've seen Across of Bile hit a carrier, but I don't think I'll see it again today.
And Solar is stuck making Lings now. He's going to make 12 more Lings. This is all hinged on one big attack. And I think Zest is aware of that. He's got a nice spread with his army. He's just trying to, you know, like a football player trying to get in front of wherever the army is and have the right deflection. You see how the 2 Archons there? 2 Archons? Are we going to bust that down with all those Lings? How many of those Lings explode before they do damage?
Yeah. Look at that, a drop Overlord kind of being shown. He does have +2 melee, so if he gets a couple good Baneling drops off, you can kill the entire economy of Zest very quickly, one-shotting probes. But, yeah, I mean, this map is so big, and the fact that carriers are already popping out.
Okay, Zealots coming in on both sides. And you know what? It doesn't matter if they really do that much, because where did Solar's money go? You know, it's like he was just collecting VHS tapes, and now the DVD, and right now Zest is tech to like DVDs.
There's a lot of people who did that.
Yeah. It's like one day these are going to be worth a lot of money.
Well,
put all his stocks in Blockbuster.
It's going to be another 1,000 years.
Yeah. Okay, well, you know, what Zest is doing tech-wise is further enhancing his stronghold on the bottom right side of the map. We do see a tech up here from Solar. He's not completely stagnant. He's going to go into a greater spire. I don't know what he's going to do with these lings, though.
I love these Archons that are just kind of spread out, by the way. They're just, it's like you can't do any counterattacks with, like, little ones with Lings or Banes, because Archons are so efficient.
It's not just with drops. Just having one or two Archons out, it's funny how much that they can really do. And there's a difference in how supplies are being freed up here. Zest is dumping the Zealots out there, hoping to get drones, but really just flaying up supply. Solar's turning some of those lings into Banelings, but if they don't connect, then that's gas. It's lost.
Never coming back.
Who's rocks now? Finish what I started with this Nexus.
And the Archons have something to say about that.
He needs to get rid of these lings eventually. He can't just keep... And you can see those are going now into Corruptors. But, you know, it's really awkward for Solar because of what he teched up to. He has no easy way to get rid of his supply. He has to make a connect. Now, I don't think this can actually work because these Archons are just too good.
And hey, look, he's got the Corruptors out here and he's making a lot of them, but the Archon is actually the problem unit right now. The Archons will kill the Corruptors before they can really touch the carriers, and Psystorm and the carriers clean up everything else.
And I think because of this hiccup in tech where Solar's trying to modernize what he has as far as his army goes, it's given Zest room. It's given Zest, you know, the room that you know, when you're playing against a computer and you're still learning the game and you're in the lowest difficulty level and you're like, well, I'm just going to make the best stuff. This is what you have now, right? And I don't believe he's going to be able to push through because even though there's a lot of carriers, the Archons can actually gun them down.
You know what? This is actually the moment of the game right now. Those Archons took a lot of damage in that, but they didn't die.
Dude,
if they had, if the Archons had died, the Corruptors would have killed the rest of the air here. He needs to kill off the rest of the Archons. I don't know what health they're at, but God, they do regenerate very quickly.
We're not quite getting a glimpse of that. Okay. Oh man, the storm on some of those Banes. Okay.
Powerful.
Watch and see what happens underneath this. What?
Whoa!
Wait, who did that?
I don't know.
That was okay. Yeah, that's going to be GG. There it is. Zest takes game 2 and survives to the final 8.
At the end of the day, Zest comes out of this group. You know, every time I see Zest play a series like that, man, I question, how could anyone ever question this Protoss player? Rogue is going to beat Zest in the finals this season. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen.
Well, I got to tell you, Zest is really, no pun intended, spice things up for Protoss. He's bringing a completely different style. It's coming right out of left field. I feel for Solar. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's generally good at reacting, but Zest just came.
Dude, he's like the Pavlov toss, too. He's like conditioning Solar to think certain things based on his play. Yeah. And then, like, doing things that counter those things that Solar is forced into. It's just some brilliant mind games coming out of Zest. Great build order choices there as well.
Our second player to advance is Zest. You showed quite a different performance. Congratulations.
네, 자, 2연속 8강에 성공했습니다. 먼저 소감 어떠신가요?
2 consecutive quarterfinals. How do you feel?
준비할 때 오늘 너무 손이 마음대로 안
When I played the first map, I didn't feel like my hands are working the way I wanted them to.
느낌이 너무 강했는데.
Anyways, I had a strong feeling that early on I might be eliminated tonight, so I feel quite relieved now.
얼마나 좋아졌을까, 얼마나 보완이 되었을까, 이 점이 포인트였어요. 오늘 저그전 스스로 평가를 하자면 어떠신가요?
일단
how much you've been working on your PBC? How would you evaluate your performance?
좀 힘들 것 같아가지고 빌드를 짜오긴 했어요.
If I play standard play,
손이 너무 생각한 대로 안
I think Solar's overall quite a strong opponent, so I tried to mix it up a little bit.
네.
최종 전에 다시.
Again, though, I didn't feel like I was able to do. My hands weren't able to do what my brain was asking them to do.
첫 경기에서 정말 이 우관도 보여주시고 돌진 광정사로도 시작하시고 되게 다양하게
So you're saying the reason
준비하실
why you
것
lost early on was that your hands weren't warmed up?
네.
네, 그 경기의
Yes.
아쉬움을 뒤로하고 최종전에선 좋은 모습 보여주셨던 것 같습니다. 오늘 이 저그전을
You lost two maps in a row against Solar,
들었다고 보시나요?
and you managed to do a reverse sweep there.
다른 타 종족전에서 보여주는 그런 안정감이 좀 있었다고 보시는지.
아니요,
Are you satisfied with your overall performance against Zerg
스스로도
compared
많이
to your
좀
match against
아쉬운 점이
Protoss?
느껴지고 있어가지고
네.
더 열심히 해야 될 것 같아요.
Personally, I could
그런데
feel
이제 다음도
a lot of
그렇게
disappointment
호락호락하진 않을 것 같습니다.
just against the Zergs in general.
죽음의
I'm gonna have to
조에서
keep working on that.
이기고 올라오는 상대와 만나게 될 텐데요. 이병렬, 어윤수, 백동준,
So you're
이신영
facing
선수.
somebody from Group B. There's
이거
Sue,
참
Rogue,
보기도 쉽지 않을
Innovation,
것 같아요.
and Deer.
좋은 선수, 싫은 선수
Do you have
이렇게
anybody
한
you want to
명씩
face off
골라볼까요?
against?
그냥
Or could you pick one that you
투적을
don't want to
떨어지고
face? Excuse me.
테라토스 올라서.
And one that you want to face.
투적은 다 떨어지고 아예 씨가 사라져버렸으면
I hope
좋겠어요.
the Zergs get eliminated. And
센것 같아요.
그래요? 근데 이신영 선수와 백동준 선수는 상관없으세요?
he says he doesn't care between the other two.
동준이는 제가 좀 투부전하면서 많이
You
이겨왔던.
think Deer's a strong Protoss? Are you worried about him?
지난 시즌에 이겨서.
Well, I've beaten Deer several times before in the past.
그렇군요. 이 테란전과
Also, I
프로토스전을
beat
원하고
Innovation
계시는데요.
last season. I'm
지난
pretty confident.
32강은 이 컨디션이 안 좋으셔서 인터뷰로 만나보지 못했었어요. 지금은 이 컨디션에 문제 없으신가요?
네, 그때는 진짜.
Even you advanced to the round of 16 last time. You were pretty sick, so we didn't even have a winner's interview. How's your condition today?
마지막으로 그럼 팬들에게
Says my condition's pretty
오랜만에
good.
또 마지막 한마디 들려주시기 바랍니다.
Okay, any words to your
경기가
fans?
GSL밖에 없는데 제가 좀 그래도 모습을 최대한
So far,
자주
we've only got
보여드리고
GSL for StarCraft 2
싶어가지고,
tournaments.
올라가고 싶었는데 올라가서 다행이고 8강에서도 꼭 좋은 모습.
I'm going to try to make it as far as I can for all you guys watching.
알겠습니다. 다시 한번 8강 진출 축하드립니다.
I hope to be meeting more fans at offline
지금까지
matches.
주성욱 선수
So hopefully
만나봤고요.
I'll keep
오늘
pushing
경기
this
최종
ball
경기
forward.
확인하겠습니다.
So congratulations again, Zest. There we go.
Yeah.
The guy with the best glasses out of the whole group, and the guy who never needed them to begin with.
Indeed.
What does it all mean? Find out in the round of 8. So that's just day 1 of the round of 16, everybody. That means we have 3 more days left.
Yeah, and they're all going to be pretty wild.
Yes.
I mean, great results tonight. Solar, I think it definitely could have been Zest or Solar coming out of there.
Sure.
I got to say, the Patience Maru match might have been the best of the night, really.
Hey, man, Patience held his own for sure. So these are our first 2 survivors.
And Saturday, we'll see who they play against in the round of 8.
That's right. We'll have one side of the bracket made up.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
the group of death.
Oh
B
my God.
is in death.
Yeah, like the winner of this group plays Zest. Uh-oh. Zest. You're going to have a hard time, buddy. I think Rogue is the favorite. And, like, I can't imagine Rogue not getting out of this group, but this group is insane. That is a deadly group.
And of course, whoever goes on second place up against Maru, that's going to be a great game no matter who it is. Good luck to Deer there. No disrespect. It's just that the other
group is out of
players in
control.
there. I mean, that's pretty insane. I guess that's it. We will be back on Saturday at our normal time, and the ASL finals, StarCraft 1 finals, are going to be on Sunday.
And make sure to watch the Pylon Show tomorrow morning.
That's right. We love you guys. We'll see you next time here at the GSL Codex.
Game activated.
There's a place at the end of the
GSL Season 2 Overgrowth.